Alright guys, so this is everything you're going to need to do the installation. 1/8 inch drill bit, drill, some pieces of 2x4. You may not need this in your situation, but I do, the way my wall is set up. That's the window we're going to install it in, and it's bigger than the bracket allows, so I'm going to show you guys how to address that. So you find the middle of your window first, put a little pencil mark, and we're going to be using that later to line up the bracket so you get it right in the middle. And haven't opened the box, so this is what you get when you open the air conditioning box. This is the 8,000 BTU. I also installed the 12,000 BTU in my living room. It's running great. So you got your bracket that the unit sits on. Comes with the remote. Some batteries for the remote. Bear with me, I'm just showing you guys the whole process. So this is not edited that much. Feel free to skip through. So that's the foam that comes with the unit. Like I said, I purchased some more from Amazon for around 10 to 15 bucks, which you will need if you have a wider window like I do. My window is 46 inches wide, so that extra foam came in handy. And just trying to get the bracket set up. So it comes with two arms that you attach to the front of the bracket, which the front of the bracket is pointed towards the camera right now. And you just want to orient the arm the same way the other arm is oriented, and it comes with the arm, one of the arms already installed. So you just have to put the longer or shorter arm, whichever fits your standard, for the window you're installing it in. And ideally, those arms are supposed to touch the sides of your window, but like I said, my window is 46 inches and the bracket's not even long enough for that, so I'm going to show you guys how I modified it to make it work perfectly. So all I'm doing is getting that other arm installed, and then I'm evening out the opposite arm so the little push buttons are on the same number hole and it's nice and even. So when you install it, you notice on the sides of the front bracket, those edges are pointed down. You're going to actually reverse that, and they're going to be pointed up when you install it, which I'll show you in just a second. And you have to be careful with those feet because they will just kind of fall out. So it is awkward getting this thing in the window, but it's not that hard at all. Okay, so in my situation, I had to cut these little 2x4 pieces, which were 2 inches wide, just to make it so the unit was level. And then with the AC unit on the bracket, it was leaning just a quarter of a bubble once you get your level up there on the bracket to the outside, which is what you want, because that condensate from the AC is going to drain outside. Then you're going to take that bolt out at the end. And you just put the bolt in the front where the hole is that shows the bracket's level, and then you just do the same on the other side. Here I'm just taking the 1/8 inch drill bit, drilling straight into the bottom of the bracket. As you see there. And this is what I came up with to fix the little gap that I have between the bracket and the baseboard there. So I just got some washers and stacked them up, and that worked perfectly. Just put one of those screws through all those washers, so the washers sat flush with that baseboard and flush with the bottom of that bracket. Ran that screw through there, and that sucker tightened up and was not going anywhere. I did this a couple weeks ago, and it's still holding rock solid, so no issues there. Running that screw in, and just repeat on the opposite side. And you can even bend those tabs down on the side, which is what I did. But like I say, my window is much bigger than this bracket is good for. And the unit comes with anti-tipping bars if you watch other videos, and I haven't even used those because my window's too big, so they're just staying in the center, and that's one less step I have to do, and it has not been an issue. Just bend those down, get them out of the way. Okay, that's the foam that comes with the unit. Okay, so ideally you should have 2 people to get this thing in the window, but it's just me. So I got it in there. Once you rest it up there, you want to get down and look under it, which I'll show you in a minute once I get the tripod over there. And you're going to line it up with the tracks on the bottom. Alright, so just slide it so it's on the center of those grooves, and you're good to go. You're just going to adjust it, get it how you want it, and then you put the brackets that hold it in place. Before you do this step, I skipped it, but you want to bring that window down in between the unit just to make sure it's positioned properly. Okay, so you want to get this screw with this plastic washer. Need 2 of those, 1 for each side. And you're gonna get that bracket. So the long part of the bracket goes against the AC unit. Then you're gonna get your screw with the plastic washer on it. And it's a little tricky, but you wanna hand tighten it on there. That way we don't cross thread things. So the screw with the plastic washer, like I said, goes against the AC. Then you tighten it up with your screwdriver. You want to get it snug because that's what's holding the AC in place. That bracket holds the AC to the bracket that you installed to the baseboard of the window. Repeat on the other side. Okay, now I'm just drilling some holes into the feet of the 2x4s, and then I'm gonna run some screws through those. That way, if anything jars that unit, it's not gonna knock the shims out. And the last steps, you're just gonna put your foam in the little slot of the AC unit, bring it down, and like I said, I have a much wider window than this thing is rated for, but it wasn't an issue at all if you just buy another set of those white pieces of foam. And I also bought 15 feet of black 1x1 foam, which was perfect because you need to put some of that black foam underneath the white foam, and then you want to put some on top so you seal the window as good as possible. And you just want to cut it to place, and you want a tight fit, so if you do any cutting, make sure you cut so that you have more, as opposed to cutting a lot and it's just gonna fall out the window. So that foam, it's pretty solid, but you can force it into the window to where it's a snug fit. And I had 2 long pieces that I didn't cut at all, and then I had the 2 extras which I had to cut to sandwich in between the long piece of foam and the window, and I cut them to where it was snug enough to where I didn't need to tape it or anything. It was just, it's in there solid. As you can see, you put the black foam on the bottom, and then you put your white foam on top of that, push it down so it's a snug fit, and then you just get a long, this is the piece of foam I got from Amazon, that inch by inch I was talking about. You just want to cut that the length of the window. And that's what's gonna seal the window. You're gonna be able to get a nice seal with that extra piece of foam. Just checking everything, making sure it's all sealed up. And you will want to look under the unit where I showed you the tracks in the beginning of the video, and get some extra foam that comes with the unit, and look for any spots where air might be leaking out. And then you're just going to get another piece of foam like I'm doing here and tuck it in the top of the sash. You don't want any air leaking out or bugs getting in. And this took me roughly about 1 hour and 30 minutes. And that's with the recording, moving things around. First time I did it with the 12,000 unit, it took about 1 hour, so it's not that hard at all. I haven't done this before when I installed the 12,000 unit, and as long as you find some videos on YouTube and prepare yourself and get all the tools and foam you're gonna need, it's not bad at all. And that's pretty much it. I installed some curtains to keep it nice and dark at night. And like I said, this was installed a couple weeks ago. I live in Texas and it gets very, very hot, and the AC unit in the master bedroom keeps it at 65 at night. I hooked up a watt meter to both of the units, the 8,000 and 12,000 unit, and they barely pull any power once it gets your desired room temperature. Very quiet units. I am very impressed with them so far and 100% recommend them. And I'll do a review on them eventually when I get around to it. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer it. Please like, share, and subscribe.